On this week's show, I'm back. So, that's enough said.
We talk about Google's cloud gaming. Is there a silver lining?
And we get nostalgic with LucasArts games.
And Star Trek Discovery reaches an all-time fucking low with bloody time crystals. You can find them next to the bread in the supermarket.
Stay tuned.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers, geezers, geeks, people who live in the cloud, people who were thought dead but come back from the grave, people who don't understand time travel and think a time travel crystal makes everything okay.
Time crystals.
Superheroes, supervillains, robots, aliens, and Spiderman. It's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. And as the host, I would like to describe myself as the manliest of man genders. Shut up. And
Have you just assumed your own gender?
yes, I just assumed my own
Don't
gender.
assume your own gender. You know you can't assume your own gender in this day and age.
Shut up. And then we have Nigel,
You genderist.
whose gender can only be described as following: Captain Gender.
I'll take that.
And is he a man? Is he a he? Is
He's
he
not
a
captain
she?
Gender. He's pre-battered gender.
Pre-battered gender. Frozen cod gender. And a man who can only be described as gender fluid. So fetch the mop and bucket. It's Keith.
Fuck off.
It's not the one I thought up yesterday because that's funnier, but I can't fucking remember it. So hello, ladies and gentlemen. On this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast, we'll be talking about Google Stadia, Lucas Games coming back from the dead. Keith wants to talk about fucking Star Trek Discovery. We're going to talk about the Marvel films after Endgame. I want to talk briefly about Love, Death and Robots. And Keith wants to break out his Spiderman and show everyone. So, with much ado about nothing, let's get on with the show. Let's talk about Stadia. Stadia was revealed at, I think it's San Francisco's GDC last week, and they showed off their cloud gaming platform. Now, the cloud gaming platforms are, how can I put it, as we said with the Microsoft one, inhibited by lag. But
your one that you had was quite impressive.
yes, it was quite impressive. Still had a bit of lag in there. I wouldn't pay a Twitch shooter with it. Yeah, that's how bad the lag was. But getting past all of that stuff, the lag is the biggest thing. But they were very clever with what they did, because what they've done is they've got the controller, and instead of putting the controller through your visual device and then having that then send the signal to the internet, it goes directly to the internet. So you're controlling direct to the internet.
That's a good idea.
That cuts down on lag. Now, the geeks at Digital Foundry, especially Richard, who I think is maybe the most exciting lover of all times, if you've ever seen him. But the guy who I would fucking quote, because he's so boring, he's correct, said that the lag was quite impressive because they got it down to like 111 milliseconds, which is okay for console gaming, shall we say. PC gamers are a little bit more finicky when it comes to these sort of things.
Yeah.
But for a cloud gaming platform, that's fucking good. Was in controlled conditions, though.
And there wasn't any load on the servers.
Yeah, true. And then the funny thing is there's a guy called Phil Harrison, who's how can I put it, is one of the most unluckiest sods in gaming. Because Phil Harrison came out to say, hey, this is our Stadia gaming and whatnot. And Phil Harrison was one of the people at the PS3 launch when they said that it would be fucking like £600 for a PS3. And he was also at the Xbox One launch. And then worked for Atari. So I have a kiss of death there from Mr. Harrison, but they showed some bits off, and they were showing off Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed Origins, or whether it's the Greek one. So they were showing that off. It looked relatively impressive. There weren't too many artifacts or jaggies, or whatever you want to call them.
So how does the TV bit? Have you got a box or have you got like a Chromecast?
Chromecast, it says it will work with Chromecast, it will work with smart TVs, it will work with PCs.
Oh, so they're
it'll
giving
work
you
with
like
phones.
an app,
Yes.
effectively. Right,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense.
It'll work with phones and that. And the reason it's called, this is the weird one, the reason they call it Stadia is it's, what do you call it? It's a play on the word stadium,
Yeah, I kind of...
because they kind of pushed through the whole e-gaming and gaming on YouTube.
Stadia a French word? Or
It might be a French
Yeah.
word, but their one is a variation on the word stadium, because they showed their video off. It's like, oh look, amazing cloud gaming service, and it showed off all the games and stuff that were planning on doing it and whatnot.
Are they console games or PC games?
I think they're PC games, but they've been geared up in a console fashion, if that makes sense. Because most PC games you can play with an Xbox One
Or is
controller.
this going to be its own platform in its own right?
It's going to be its own platform in its own right, but it'll be probably converted PC games.
Okay, because obviously to win the developers over, you don't want to give them a
Yeah.
tiny platform.
But here, this is the cool thing is that when you watch a game on YouTube, this is one of the things they showed off. Is you're watching a game on YouTube, like we'll say we're back to Assassin's Creed Origins again, yeah. So mate, he's playing a game on YouTube, and you can press a button and play that game within 5 seconds. We'll note that because when it comes out and it's 15 seconds, we can then point and laugh and go ha ha, yeah, and get into that game within 5 seconds, which is cool. The other part of it too is that you can play the game, save it up to a point, and share that save with other people so they can then play it too.
Yeah, can't share.
And then here comes the other thing too. If you stream from YouTube, it doesn't stream from the device that you're playing on. It streams directly from the server. So you can stream it at high quality
Straight to YouTube.
straight to YouTube. So you can get the full fucking thing on it. And they're very keen on doing that, which sounds impressive. The question is, can they pull it off?
Well, it is Google. It's not like they don't have the odd spare data center they could stick this all in.
Or $1 billion.
I think I saw a picture of the controller and it didn't look that fantastic.
Looked
Yeah,
a
it
bit
looked
like a
like,
PS4.
Sorry, Nudge.
Looked like a PS4 controller.
Well, it looked like the bastard offspring of a PS4 and an Xbox One controller. So yeah, it's
Why not take inspiration from two great controllers?
well, they should have done the Xbox 360 controller because that's the best Xbox controller.
Yeah, I agree with you. on that.
So yeah, it's one of those things where it's going to be interesting because as I said, we were talking about the shadow game system, which I tried out for a couple of months, and that did run well. But as I said to Keith, I wouldn't play a Twitch shooter with it because I couldn't rely on it. So I might have a go back with it because there's another company that does it. I think it's Parsec or something like that. And I'll have a go with them and see if they're any good. Because playing those things, the technology seems to be getting better, and they've got the new codec. What's the new codec? H264?
H265.
H265.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's supposed to be a really super fast codec.
It is, but it's a fucker if you're you need a really powerful machine to deal with it at the moment.
Yeah.
Although once that's from an editing perspective. So once I suppose it's actually coded down, then it's probably fine. But yes, H265 is the one that does all 4K and all that malarkey.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll get that right. So yeah, it'd be good.
It's a really good codec. I mean, it is an interesting codec. It's just if you shoot an H265, editing that takes a little bit more guts, if you know what I mean, gumph to get it going. But yeah, no, it's a good codec.
Yeah, I can imagine that because it seems to be because when I used the Shadow one, they had an experimental one where it had the different codec on it.
I remember you showing that to me last time I was over here, and that it was impressive for what it is. I'm not 100% sold on the idea of any kind of streaming games yet, purely because I don't think the infrastructure in the UK is ready to handle that for the most average households. It's the one thing I'm still shocked about where I live in Thailand. I've got bloody fibre into the fibre. Oh,
And
sorry.
he drops the mic. I pointed
Watch-
at him to
watch
make
it-
sure. Hang on a
Watch
second.
me drop my mic. Sorry, people.
Right.
That's going to give you some editing fun and games.
Yeah, thanks. I was trying to say don't knock it over.
And I knocked it over.
You knocked it
Like a
over.
loser. What was I going to say?
Mark, you best mark that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favourite saying? Put a marker there.
Pop
Put
a marker in.
Marker in. Pop it.
I'm impressed by it, but as I said, where I live in Thailand, I mean, I've got fibre into my house, proper fibre optics all the way into the house.
Mm.
And you're still pretty, even though you might have fibre to the cabinet here, you don't have fibre all the way into your house. And I think that does have a difference.
I've got
You do
fibre
with
up to the
Virgin,
doorstep.
don't you?
You've got fibre,
Yeah, up to the
but
doorstep.
you've got, but then it's copper cable
Into the house.
into the house.
Yes.
I've got fibre all the way, and I think that makes a difference. And my speeds certainly seem to be faster than what you can get here. I'd be interested to try it over my connection. And I'm not
How fast is your connection?
300 and something down, and like it's over 100 up.
Okay.
Because it's the up speed as well. Because obviously you've got that
Yeah.
two-way thing. It's the up speeds in this country that are
Well, no,
woefully
not
crap.
on BT. On Virgin, it's like 10% of whatever your thing is. So if I got the max I can get in my house is, I think it's 250
That's down.
down,
Yeah,
which
but-
means I only get 25 up.
That's the problem with game streaming, because you've got to send the signal back up again, and I don't know. It's
Well, for me, I'm to the fibre to the cabinet, but then I don't have fibre options to get to my house. Virgin Media are not in my area, so I couldn't, if I wanted, get fibre to my house. I have to stick with copper, and so my download is only 34. I checked it today. It's 34 meg. So my up, which I checked on my PlayStation the other day, is 3.4 meg.
34 meg. That's pitiful.
Yeah, and you know where I live. It's not in the countryside. It's not anywhere. I live in a
I thought you lived on a
a
trawler.
town, and I live not far from the town centre, and I actually live not
We
far
did
from the
have
exchange.
Sorry.
So could you imagine if you lived just slightly out?
Yeah, well, no, I
I've
mean,
seen, I was sitting there going, oh, do you know what? I'd love to live in this house, but I bet the internet's shit, so I wouldn't want to live here.
True.
do you know what I mean? And that's throughout the UK. So until BT put in the infrastructure, or Virgin Media, or some other company comes along and invests in infrastructure like that throughout the UK, we can actually get rid of fucking telephone lines that nobody uses anymore except for fucking broadband, and have to pay money for every month just to have a copper line, which you don't even use the fucking phone for. Yeah, that annoys me.
That's something me and the wife were talking about, is getting rid of the telephone because we don't use it.
and the thing is, you're going to have like data centers in the localized country just to get round the lag. And I mean, I don't know what the broadband's like in the States, but I mean, they've just removed net neutrality in the States, so that's not going to help.
Well, it's as far as I know, it's if you're in the city, you're fine. If you're in the sticks, you're fucked.
Same here then.
It's like 28k is still used as a standard to make sure things run right.
I think the concept's great, and I think the fact that the controller links directly to the net, that's a really good idea. I just don't know if the infrastructure is there yet to cope with it the way it should work. Certainly, broadband in the Western world seems to be woefully underpaid. In Asia, it's brilliant. I mean, you go to Seoul, and they're all on a fucking gigabit fucking connections.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Yeah.
So and like Singapore, the broadband is incredible. So Asia will be good for this, but not convinced that their main markets, will pick up on this. I mean, Japan will be all right. Probably work great in Japan, because again, Japan has quite fast internet. But outside, that is a big gaming market.
Yeah, but are the Japanese? I don't think the Japanese would embrace it as much as, say, people in the States or Europe.
I don't know.
they're all, well, they like to stick with Japanese brands like Sony or Nintendo, for example. Google's an American brand, so if you think how well or not well the Xbox or any Microsoft product does over there, it's woeful. So
Yeah,
it's
but
unlikely
the Google
they'd
name,
stick.
the way you're saying that, although I think the Google name is slightly different to American-owned brands, because Google kind of is universal these days.
Yeah, I suppose because they do like Apple stuff in Japan.
I think Nigel's right. I think you're right for the most part, but Google, I would argue, now has broken away from borders, if you like. It's no longer just it's not just an American
It's a
company.
giant, scary multinational corporation.
Yeah, you never know. It might be fine over there.
Just here's the other point when it comes to Stadia is ownership of games.
Yeah,
There won't be any.
I,
There won't
we've
be
had-
any. It'll
yeah.
be a subscription type, won't it?
you're correct.
Even if it's not a subscription type, they'll put
But our
clauses in there.
media's already done that.
Sorry.
I mean, our music. Where do you
Yeah.
get your music from?
I downloaded it. No, I downloaded it legally off of Napster.
Nigel, what's your main music?
Spotify. Oh no, Amazon Music. Sorry.
I either listen to the radio or I will use Amazon
Prime.
Music.
Yeah.
I don't pay. I will not go to the shops and buy a CD anymore.
No.
I won't pay Apple, for example, for an album or anything like that, unless if it's an album I really want, I will buy a CD for it.
But iTunes sales.
Otherwise, I stream it.
You're the norm. iTunes sales are, that's why they've got Apple Music now. I'm Spotify. I won't use Apple Music because I think I'm pissed off the way that Apple destroyed a really very simple music playing app. Because they wanted to launch a streaming service and made it far more complicated, and now it's shit.
Their streaming music streaming app on Android is fucking terrible.
It's bad on Apple as well,
Okay.
because they prioritised that over what was a really good iPod app. It was very simple to use, and it's over the years it's got more convoluted and more shit. I miss the days of an iPod because the iPod was so simple to use. And the first iPod app on the iPhones was pretty easy to use. Now it's terrible. Spotify. I'm not the biggest fan of the GUI on it, but that's a personal preference thing. But Spotify, I will use Spotify because I've had a Spotify premium membership for years, and I don't see the need to. They haven't done anything that would propel me to go over to Apple Music.
See, I've got Amazon Music because it was part of Prime, and it's like paying an extra couple of quid.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've got Amazon Prime, so I'm thinking about getting an Alexa, and with Alexa, that's Spotify and Amazon Prime built in. So, my dad's got an Alexa, but he keeps calling it Alexia. He keeps going Alexia, and it just doesn't respond. It's like, Dad, Alexa. We used to know somebody called Alexia, so she's still a friend on Facebook, but he keeps calling it Alexia. I was thinking about sending her a message because it'd probably make her laugh. It's like, Dad can't say Alexa.
Okay, any more to add to that?
No, I think there are concerns, and rightly so. Until they come out and say exactly how things are going to run, exactly what happens with the games that you are playing, whether or not you own or you're simply leasing them for a certain amount of time until you finish the game, or whatever. Yeah, there's going to be some questions and some worries and concerns.
This is the thing. Is I reckon that Sony's next one's still going to be media based.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Microsoft aren't going to go media based. Oh, and by the way, they've got an announcement Monday.
Who?
Sony.
I think. I mean, that's going to be interesting.
That's
we know
PS5.
we know PS5.
That's PS5.
Yeah, but they'll just release the controller like they did last time.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they really.
They showed the
I stayed
controller
up
first.
at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning, and all they showed me was a fucking controller. Don't get me started on that Sony event because we'll fall out. 2 o'clock in the fucking morning to see a controller, Gareth.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that. We even covered it. We covered it.
We
Yes.
did. And I was swearing about it at the time. But I think
it was a week later when they showed the console.
I think there's some I think there's some interesting stuff about this. As you said, I think that one of the really interesting things is how they've done that controller. That shows some initiative. That shows some clever thinking. I like what I'm seeing, but I think Nigel's right. Until we know what the Surface is going to be, like a Netflix for games, or is it going to be that kind of thing? But the platform that they've shown us so far and the way it works, that's pretty clever.
Do something funny. Apple trying the same thing.
Yeah, of course they are. But what's going to happen? It's like it's going to be like what's happening in the media at the moment.
Hold on a second. This is the funny thing is that Google brought it out knowing that other people have done streaming services. Microsoft brought it out knowing that Apple will release it as something completely brand new, like it had never been seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the trouble is,
Only
Apple
10 years old.
Yeah, I know.
For the first time ever.
But there've been a lot.
Streaming
But you know you're correct. But it's hard to argue the iPad. I mean, that was their last product that they really took a concept and improved it, and then propelled others to improve it again on that. That was the last time they ever did something like that, and that was 10 years ago. They haven't done anything since.
Forget Apple, not interested.
No, that's fair.
Sorry, Keith. About this Google Stadia, what Gav said about how it's going to work with integration with YouTube, and if you're liking a game that you're seeing on the screen, you can literally click a button and play it straight from your controller. Like you say, Keith, the controller idea is a great idea.
Mm.
It's going to be all around the fact that, is the controller going to be nice and cheap?
No.
Is it not
50,
cheap as in
60,
made cheap,
60.
but the price point of it not going to be fucking £100,
Well, no,
for example.
I think.
And then
Go on.
also, is it reliant on you having a Chromecast? If you don't have a Chromecast to plug into your TV, for example, I don't, and I also don't have a USB slot on my TV for a Chromecast.
No, it uses HDMI, mate.
HDMI? Okay, cool. I don't know. So,
What there's two.
are they going to do like a deal for two? If it's 50 quid, right, and then every month you pay 15 quid a month to play whatever games you want as a stream, then that's not too bad. But I can't see it working like that. They're a business.
Well, no, but Google the Chromecasts have always been cheap. They're like what 35, 40 quid. They're not expensive.
Yeah, but if you look at the fucking Pixel book.
Yeah, but for the most part, Google sell cheap stuff. That thing isn't linking to a TV, so because it's directly connected to the internet, we know that. By the sounds of what you said, they're going to release apps for TV. So if they just release an app, most people have got smart TVs these days. So
Nope,
you know there'll be an app that comes out for it, and if not, the Chromecast is 35 quid. It's not like it's going to fucking break the bank.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Chromecasts are not expensive. I think 50 to 60 quid for the controller, maybe a bit cheaper, but I think 50 to 60 quid. And that's not. I mean, that, you know, an Xbox One controller is about that, isn't it? The custom ones.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the Elite one, which is about 100 quid, I think.
It's 150, I think.
Oh, there you go.
How
So,
much?
It's 150. It's not called Elite for nothing.
the Elite.
Mate.
Yeah, you can interchange and move things around, and I quite like the buttons on the back. Although I don't have an Xbox, I do like the idea of having the buttons on the back, because that would be easier for me to use with the buttons on the top, the bumper buttons, and then a couple underneath. I quite like that, but yeah, I'm not going to spend 150 quid on a fucking controller.
I just like to point out
So-
it's gone down,
Yeah.
but
Oh, okay,
it's
110.
£80 is the cheapest I can find it for.
That's
there you
still
go.
expensive.
I was right, 80 quid. But if you think about a brand new controller from somewhere for Xbox or PlayStation, it's about 50 quid.
No, you're right.
So, right. I like
Big butts, and I
the
cannot lie.
idea.
Sorry.
It's all down to infrastructure, how they're going to run it, what the limitations are as to subscription. They might have various subscription types for you to purchase, like one to stream only, one to stream and go to YouTube, if you know what I mean. Like, so it allows you to play your game and stream it through YouTube, if you know what I mean. They'll have different types, won't they?
Yeah.
So we'll see. Let's see what happens. And we don't know what pricing they're going to do either, but I can bet you ask that it'll be, let's say, $15 in the States and then 15 quid in the UK, which makes ours more expensive. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Don't jog your bloody microphone. And he jogs his microphone.
And then he hits it.
Yeah, I
Hold
was
on.
testing.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, that's good. You had a story about Lucas Games coming back from the dead.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember. Like, for those of you who remember Lucas Games, they did quite a few decent adventure games, didn't they?
Yeah.
Behind Knights of the Old Republic.
Day of the Testicle.
Yep.
Day of the Tentacle.
Testicle.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the one. Fantastic game.
Yep.
Fantastic game. They also did Full Throttle. If you remember that.
Yes.
Did they do Sam and Max?
Yes, they did Sam and Max.
So proper adventure games where you had to use your brain and think, not like this fucking.
No. Some of them had fucking moon logic on them.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Don't sit there and make out that it was all fucking sunshine and fucking rainbows. All right.
No, it was. No, you're right. It wasn't.
I played the Sam and Max on the PS3 ages ago. I think when I first got a PlayStation Plus account. Some of those fucking puzzles. Ridiculous.
Yeah, they were.
Oh, that was it. I was
stupid.
on a train with some fucking leprechauns, and I had to transform the fucking rabbit into a milk bottle to roll past them. I would have never have guessed that. I had to Google that.
Google it, yeah.
It didn't make any fucking sense. Actually, today it's probably we're better off because you can Google it. Because
Yeah, but back when that was out, you didn't have the fucking internet.
yes,
You couldn't look that up. You had to wait for one of your favourite gaming magazines,
No, you didn't.
which came out on a monthly basis,
You could.
to
You could
find and see if there was any hints and tips and things like
You're
that.
forgetting one thing. Games Master. How do I get past?
Oh yeah, Channel 4 Games Master.
BBC.
no, it was Channel 4.
Games Master was in
Channel
the broom
4.
cupboard. Games Master was on the broom cupboard.
No, it wasn't. It was in Channel 4. It was done by
No.
Dominic Diamond.
No.
How much money? Quick.
No, Patrick.
How much money?
Patrick,
Bet
what's
him
his
too.
face?
There's a chance to make money. How much money?
No, what's his
Fiver.
face? Games
Fiver
Master was
on
what's
Channel
his face?
4. Patrick Moore was the Games Master. Dominic Diamond was the host, except when it was Dexter Fletcher in the second series and they had it on some weird oil rig for some reason. It started off in a church. Dominic Diamond is annoying because now I would appreciate his humour, but then I just didn't fucking understand it because I was a child. Channel 4. How much money?
Oh,
How much?
I'm not willing to bet on that.
It was, ladies and gentlemen, it's on Channel 4.
Channel 4 from between January 1992 to February 1998.
See, there you go.
And Dominic Diamond was on there, series 1 to 2 and 4 to 7, and then you got Dexter Fletcher,
Yes.
who I can't remember actually. I can't remember who he was.
He was the chef in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
He was the one.
Oh yeah,
Guns for show.
Knife
Knives for a
pro.
Dominic Diamond was a good one though.
He also Dexter Fletcher also had directed Bohemian Rhapsody.
Did he? Oh my god!
Well, he directed most of it after What's His Face got fired.
Jesus Christ, he did a good job because of the fucking Oscar win for What's His Mush. Rami
But
Malek.
he took over from what's his name? Usual Suspects. Brian Singer. Brian Singer got fired for unusual behaviour. Code 4. He's been accused of a certain thing, and he was fired, and Dexter Fletcher took over. Dexter Fletcher's directed quite a few high-profile movies. You know.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That is cool. Anyway, back to Lucas Games, Nige.
So back to Lucas Games. Yeah. So LucasArts actually closed its doors a few years back, and they worked in sort of internally alongside other company studios with Star Wars. Now it looks like they're reopening because they've put job listings up for well, for various jobs. So they haven't done that in many, many years. So yeah, they're looking for things like technical artists, engineering managers, producers, community managers, lead game designers. So that would make you think that they are going to start designing games again.
Yeah.
So it does look like it's been resurrected.
Right. Do you
and
think,
if they do,
Nige, do you think this is to do with Electronic Arts, one, not putting out enough fucking Star Wars games and cancelling them every 5 minutes, and then the crazy shit with the loot boxes on Battlefront 2?
Yeah.
oh yeah, because if you remember how much shit EA got from putting those shitty loot boxes in the game, and then also there were decent looking Star Wars games coming out.
Yeah, there was
then
the one.
canning them because they couldn't make fucking microtransactions in them or something. I don't know what the reasons were, but I'm making it up. But that's probably the reason they couldn't put enough microtransactions and make money after the fact they've sold it. So
the funny thing is, they had Amy Hennig, who did Uncharted 1 to 3. She was the producer on it, yeah, and you could definitely see the absence of her in the fourth game because it didn't feel as gamey, if that makes sense, as the previous versions. And she's a really good fucking games person who's been around as a proper seasoned veteran and whatnot. And they cancelled her game that she was doing with Visceral Games, who did Dead Space 1 to 3 and Battlefield Hardline.
Yeah, I played Dead Space. Yeah. I played the first one, really enjoyed it. It's very horror-y.
Oh fuck me! The first one, tension's palpable. It's so heavy.
It was, as Gareth likes to say, a double fuck game.
Double fuck.
Double fuck.
The second one was good too, but the second one was different. The second one was more like Aliens to Alien. But my favourite bit in the second one is when you get caught by the unitologists, who don't sound like Scientologists.
It was a shame that video never went viral.
What?
That was a video deserved of
Double
virality.
fuck. Yeah, but everyone else was making it at the same time.
Yeah,
so.
but nobody was as funny as you. Nobody shot themselves in quite such a funny way as you did.
There was more footage there than you saw. You know that, don't you? I just pulled out what I thought was amusing.
It was funny.
Sorry,
you could put a link in the video or in the description for the PT video. Is that still about
PC video?
PT.
No, your
PT. I can put it in if you want.
Put a link into the description. So
you don't know what
if
we're
you
talking
are
about.
interested,
This was Gareth playing the. It was dumped, wasn't it?
PT demo, yeah.
Yes, it was dumped because Kojima got fired from Konami.
Yeah. So it was Silent Hill.
Hills. It was Guillermo del Toro was supposed to be helping out with it, and they had Norman Reedus as lead.
Really funny video. If you've never seen this, Gareth just shitting himself playing this game. It's hilarious. It's really, really funny because Gareth's genuinely fucking shook up by it.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring it back, but I just realised that LucasArts actually made Monkey Island as well.
Yes.
Oh, don't you start on about Monkey. I know you and Monkey Island. Don't you start about Monkey Island. The only thing that's the second. That's the second.
Hang on. You know what he's going to do? He's going to find some fucking connection to Ages of Camelot.
Yes. I was going to sit there. There are two forbidden topics for you: Ages of Camelot or Win a Lot.
He'll find some
Monkey
fucking tenuous link.
So Monkey Island,
one. And he's going to talk about how you can flip between the two versions of it on the PC with the new one.
No, that's in the remakes.
Yeah,
that's in the remakes of Lucas.
Fell for that. Fell for that.
It wasn't
He's a purist. He's a Monkey Island purist.
My man. They on the PS3 and 4, I think they did. I can't remember. I think it was Double Fine. They did a rehash of the game, not rehash, but they remade it.
Yes.
And so they kept it as it was with the graphics and the pixelated graphics and all that. But then you could click a button and it would instantly flip to a little bit more updated graphics, and it was cool. But I couldn't stop myself playing the original sort of way. And yes, I'll go. And your
I can't see his face, so I don't know he's reacting.
Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 was made by LucasArts.
Yes,
like
I
you
know.
mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So You know, some of the best games of the era were made by them. And yeah, there is a slight link between DOC and thing because
Fuck! I told you he was going to come up with a tenuous link.
Yeah, I knew.
Because Double Fine person, I've forgotten his name.
The caterer.
He
the
worked-
caterer for Double Fine on the
worked
remake of
alongside-
Monkey Island was the same caterer.
The runner.
I'm pretty sure he worked alongside the guy who worked at Mythic, and so he was sort of involved. But no, they're both games, and therefore they're linked.
That's the tenuous link that you're going with, is it?
They were both released as games, and so therefore they are linked.
Just a quick one.
I do agree with you on the Knights of the Old Republic, though. They were fucking fantastic games.
Yeah, if you do have a chance, if you've got an Xbox One
And a
you can
Game
play
Pass.
you can play those. You just plug them in, and it will download, and then just keep that disc in. You can buy the Xbox original disc for, I don't know, 50p, pound or whatever, and then you can play it on your Xbox One, or you can get it from the store for a little bit more than that. But I'm looking forward to see what they come up with and what they announce and what they're going to do, because if they go back to the Knights of the Old Republic and go, yeah, let's do that, then we're in for a treat.
What's the betting, though? He's going to be really fucking pissed off if the first game is Star Wars: The Last Jedi. No!
If they do it in the style of KOTOR, I really don't give a shit what it's called.
This is the weird thing, right? Because does it say that they're bringing? Is this Disney bringing back Lucas Games or
Probably.
Lucas stuff?
Yeah, I think so.
And is it getting published under EA? So Disney say you make this
I
game,
think it's a
and then they say
separate-
EA you publish this fucking game.
It's probably Disney bringing out LucasArts again because they can have more control over it, because behind closed doors they probably are incredibly pissed off with EA. And rightfully so.
Yeah.
Disney have got, you know, we won't go into all the shit, but Disney have got to do some fan pleasing if they are going to make their incredibly expensive franchise, you know, resonate with the fans again. Because at the moment, it just doesn't. I think they're on the way. I think if the TV series does well, which at the moment, touching wood, things are sounding good about it. And the guy that's directing it and behind it arguably created the MCU. So this is a fan pleasing thing, and Nigel's bang on the money. Some of the best fucking games came out of LucasArts. Yeah, why the fuck not? And why do they have to even just do Star Wars games? You know, they didn't
Yeah,
just
why
do
not?
Star Wars.
DuckTales.
Yes.
Fucking played DuckTales remastered on the PS3 recently.
And DuckTales
That was
has you've got DuckTales has recently made a comeback, and it's really, really successful, even though most people don't realise the reason the animation looks like that is because that's what the comics used to look like. Geeky man.
I'm thinking, wasn't LucasArts Games didn't they produce? They didn't have a production, you know, like EA, like a production. They could do it themselves. They did it all in house.
Yeah, I know, but they've still got distribution rights and shit through EA. But this might be a way of getting around that.
No, yeah, that's why I'm thinking they would do it themselves, because there is no mention of EA
No, hang on.
in
This
this.
This is the twist. As I said before, Disney, they fund the making of the game, and when they finish with the game, they go, EA, you distribute it.
Yeah, but Nigel could be right. They could be doing the distribution side.
No, they
themselves.
can't, because they've got to deal with them for those rights.
It's Disney. They literally own half of fucking Hollywood. What are they going to do? Oh, sue us at EA. Oh, all right, we'll just pay you off. I mean, come on. I mean, these days Disney owns 60% of the fucking everything in Hollywood.
What's the Disney motto? We own your childhood.
We own you.
No, we
literally.
own your child. No, we own your
Yeah,
childhood.
but they don't just own our childhood anymore.
But I think you could be right, Gareth. They could be like, right, LucasArts. You create the games as it should be. EA will let you, you know.
That's because
Let
that's a
you
way
distribute.
they can circumvent. Yeah?
It's certainly one to keep an eye on.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I am pleased by this, which is not very often at the moment. I get pleased by indirect Star Wars news, but this is pleasing.
Okay. All right. So Nigel started talking about fucking Ages of Camelot. So Keith's topic of, oh my godness.
You watched it. You watched it.
I
Even though
watched
you
it.
said you were not going to watch it, I said, Gareth, even though you said you weren't going to watch it, you watched Discovery, didn't you? Yeah. Right. Are you as pissed off
Are you
as I
going
am?
to talk about Discovery?
Briefly, not much.
He's got 5 fucking minutes. He better make it good.
Because to be honest,
I'll tell you what. I'm just going to turn away from the computer.
no, seriously though, no,
because
it's now at such a fucking low. You should start watching it because it's just funny. I mean, it's so car crash now. It's just funny. Seriously, their explanation for time travel was they got a time crystal. That was their entire explanation of time travel.
That's how lazy it was.
I mean, it's so bad.
It was.
That, I'm going to take the piss while you... Nigel's sending messages that are popping up on the TV. But seriously, Nigel, you don't need to take the piss out of us. You can just take the piss out of this. Time crystals, Nigel. Time crystals.
Right,
No,
that's not the
Keith,
thing that
Keith,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm saying.
he's going for a piss, man.
I'm going to
He's not taking the piss. He's going for a piss.
Oh, right. I thought he was going to take
The reason
I'm
he put the message up is so we could just carry on like nothing happened, but that doesn't work now.
No, because he popped
Doesn't
right up
work
on
now,
the screen. He came up on the screen in big letters and I just saw piss take.
No, he's taking a piss.
Right.
Because I don't need. Nobody needs to listen to you talk about STDs.
Oh, good pun.
Star Trek herpes. Oh, and saying that, the other Star Trek series is going to be called Star Trek Destiny, which sounds like a stripper. And now on stage for the next 5 minutes, Destiny.
Although I have to admit, I've seen who they've cast in this.
Right.
And the
No,
casting's
no, no.
interesting.
Before you do anything, have you ever watched Star Trek Renegades on
Yes.
YouTube?
Yes.
It's ripping that off.
Well, maybe.
It's ripping that off.
Maybe.
No, it is. You're going to get there and go, oh, I've seen this before. And you're going to have another Abanasdeen, or whatever his name is, instant with the people who did Renegades.
Oh, dear.
Which is annoying, because I wanted to see what happened after Renegades and what the fucking alien species that caused the whole fucking turmoil in the first place were.
I mean, I thought the beginning of this episode, they went, oh, the Red Angels burn him, and I just groaned. But when...
No, stop.
Yeah.
Right. Time travel, okay?
Yeah,
Right, so they suspect it was Michael Burnham, okay?
yeah.
So they're discussing their plans to catch the Red Angel
Yeah.
with the Red Angel in the fucking room. So
Yeah.
all Michael Burnham has to do is remember.
I thought that straight away, then I went, it's not Michael Burnham.
Oh,
And then the minute Mr. Section 31 said what he said to her, I went, it's her mum. It's her mum. It's not going to be her father because, you know,
you can't have
you
a
can't
positive
have a man
man doing
not
it.
going to be the father.
Even if he's
it's going to be the mother.
even if he's a man of colour in their fucking opinion.
And thing comes out, falls out of suit, mum. Oh, I'm so shocked. But they're doing something else here, and I'm absolutely convinced what they're doing.
They're going to erase Michael Burnham from
Nope.
existence.
Think about it. What the AI, the Doomsday thing that you said.
I can't.
I don't think it's a Doomsday ripoff. I think it's something else which is going to make
Not
it great.
Doomsday, Brainiac.
No, Brainiac, whatever. But it's not Brainiac.
What is it?
That guy that got stabbed in the eye,
Okay.
he's not dead.
Which guy got stabbed in the eye?
The Section 31 guy right near the end.
I can't.
Right.
Is that
you know,
Captain?
yeah, where it stabbed him and he fell on the floor?
Oh, yeah.
He's going to wake up next week with a white face and a little thing popping out of his eye. I'm telling you.
Oh.
I'm telling you.
No, it can't be the Borg because...
come on, they're going to do the Borg.
No, it can't be the Borg because the Borg are a synthesis of human and fucking thing, but they're
this
going to
is
ruin it,
STD.
aren't they?
This is STD.
Oh, they're going to ruin the Borg.
They are going to retcon everything they fucking can, and we have just seen the creation of the Borg.
So
we have just witnessed the creation
they've
of the
ruined the
Borg.
Enterprise, they've ruined Captain Pike, they've ruined Spock.
I know they haven't ruined Captain Pike.
No,
That's just
they
the one
have.
thing I don't think they have
Captain
done, but that
Cock.
isn't down to them. They haven't ruined him.
Oh, did you hear? Apparently he got in a fight with someone, got fired.
Yes.
Good for him.
But Anson Mount, I like Anson Mount.
I
I do like his Captain Pike,
Yeah.
and I think the character, that is the one character I do like.
So
And if we had Anson Mount, if we had take away the politics, right, get rid of Michael Burnham, I would like to.
This is the thing is that if you don't have to get rid of Michael Burnham, you just have to tone down the bullshit with Michael
You
Burnham.
don't have to have all the positive there's an expression for this. What is it? Positive
Reinforcement.
Yeah, where every 5 seconds they have to say how great Tilly is. She's not great. She's got a really good brain. She's very, very clever, but she's got flaws. Acknowledge the fucking flaws.
Do you know what? I'd love to be a fucking.
Doesn't make her bad.
I would love to be a captain. I would love to be the captain. I would love to be captain on Discovery. Okay, all right, Lieutenant Special. I refer to as Lieutenant Special Needs.
This episode, I'm just going to finish it here. I think we've just witnessed the creation of the Borg. I really do. Because I just don't. They've been inching it to trying to get the Borg, and they've been going, oh, how can we make this? Oh, we can do the Borg. Section 31 created a machine that created the Borg. It's gonna happen.
Didn't the Borg
Section
come from
30
the fucking Delta
Doesn't
Quadrant?
matter. They've forgotten every
were a
other piece of canon.
There's a species in the Delta Quadrant that it happened with, and the weird thing
But
was
that hasn't stopped Discovery
But
before.
hang on a
Spock
second.
wasn't a fucking SJW softy fucking dyslexic Spock.
Do you know what? Minus that stuff, right? Minus that stuff, they have turned Spock into someone who could burn him out no shit, which I really appreciate. And he looks like every so often he wants to lamper one, which I appreciate.
I have to say, jokes aside, get rid of the beard. The actor that plays, he's quite good.
Doesn't
Ethan
look
Peck
like
as
him.
Spock is quite good.
I think he understands what the character's supposed to be.
I do like that. But yeah, I think we've just witnessed the creation of the Borg, and that's pretty much what I wanted to say about it. And fucking time crystals, would you fuck off, you lazy bastard writers? Time crystals. This isn't the fucking dark. This isn't Jim Henderson's Dark Crystal. It's Star Trek. It's science fiction. Time crystals are not fucking science fiction.
I just love that. It goes, okay, so all we need now is some reality crystals so we can rewrite the universe.
Me and Gareth were talking about this. We went for a coffee before, and and I give Gareth this, right? Gareth's idea about doing the Omega particle, fucking good idea. It's canon, you can use that. But no. We had to come up with this really great idea, and we shall call them Dr. Evil Moment. Time crystals. Fuck off.
In other words,
seriously.
the funny thing is, they bought them on the black market. Like, you can buy them from a shop somewhere.
Yeah, because we've got all these time travelers before Kirk running around with, I've got a time crystal. Oh, please.
Anyway,
move on.
I hope, Nigel, you back?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to the.
I forgot you couldn't see me, so I didn't.
No, I can't see you. Turned your fucking camera off, mate.
I did.
So seeing you's a little difficult. Okay, so Marvel films after Endgame. We know of one. Two
that had.
No, we know one. What we know of one that's definitely happening this year.
Oh yeah, but there's two. We know another one because it's got a director and it's got a production date. And they've cast the other lead actress in it.
Okay, right. Let's just start off with the one we do know. We've got I Know Spiderman.
Yeah.
In Far From Home.
Yes. Well, because that comes out a month later. But the Black Widow movie has got a production date. It's got a cast. It's got a director. Well, it's casting as we speak, and they've already made some cast announcements. So we know that's happening.
They have to have some big superpowered. It sounds odd. Have to have like some superpowered supervillains in there because there have been a couple of films recently that are like a Black Widow movie. You had Jennifer Lawrence in one.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah, I think, was like one, but they have to do something, and have to have Hawkeye in it. I know he's the lamest person out of the Avengers, but he is kind of key to her story. Even if he just turns up at the end and recruits her. Yeah. And then they go to Budapest or wherever it is.
But yes, there are 7 rumored to be in production. I'm just.
Nigel's supposed to be telling us about the 7 in production.
Yeah, come on, Nigel, sort it out.
What, the 7 planned?
Yeah, the 7 planned. Let's hear them, Nigel. Apart from Spider-Man and Black Widow, because that's 5 that you got left.
I'm actually looking forward to Black Widow. Hopefully, that's going to be a good one.
I'm going to wait. I'm worried. I'm worried about the meatiness of the story.
And there's 3 we know about because you talked about it last week.
I know.
Oh, by the way, just as we're talking on a Marvel, I want to make some. I listened to the podcast. By the way, fuck you to the pair of you. I wasn't there to defend myself. But actually, I agree with both of you fuckers, right? Except for one thing, right? Marvel do not need to release a trailer for Endgame. I said this to Gareth and I'll say this to you. Nigel, they could literally release a trailer of Iron Man taking a great big shit and talking about the size and consistency of it for 2 minutes, and it will have no effect because every motherfucker and his uncle is going to go and see this film. I'm telling you now, it's a $2 billion film.
Keith,
It's a
$2 million,
$2 billion film,
not million
this
dollar.
Is a $2 billion
$1
film.
Don't tell Disney they'll have a
$1
fucking
billion.
heart attack for $2 million.
It's a $2 billion
Right,
film.
they've already done that with someone taking a shit. That was the fucking Captain Marvel trailer and film.
Yeah, but people went and saw that. So,
And your point has been proven correct.
yeah. So, but I did agree with you. It was a really boring trailer. Anyway, Nige, tell us about the other.
God's sake, let the boy speak.
Tell us about the other 4, because it's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Please
Right.
let him speak. Oh!
Have you heard of something? Well, that's a silly question. The Eternals.
Yes, they're godlike aliens. That's what Thanos is, an offshoot of the Eternals.
Yes.
He's called what they call deviants.
Yes.
So the Eternals are like this race of like perfect super beings, blah blah blah, and then they have their version of mutants, which are called deviants.
Although the MCU could do something interesting as long as they get rid of this Captain Marvel SGW bullshit, the Eternals could be a good movie. Could be a good movie. Guardians of the, you've got to remember, we were very, 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 very suspect with Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was a fucking brilliant film.
Were we?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing a little
We
bit
were
more about
quite
that, but I'm sure we will soon. You got Black Panther 2?
Yeah, as a given.
Yeah, the first one made so much money. They were always going to do a second.
Please be Black Panther versus Doctor Doom. If it's Black Panther versus Doctor Doom, I would be so fucking psyched for
They've
that.
got him. They've got him.
Yeah, they've got him, but it was the film because it's Black Panther versus Doctor Doom. That would be fucking awesome. He'd have like a super fucking grade A bad guy to come up against you. It would give him a real good fucking challenge. You would see 2 advanced societies run 2 different ways. Yeah, because Doctor Doom is weird because he's totalitarian, but all everyone in Latveria loves him and genuinely loves him.
This could be the way they bring the Fantastic Four into it, because I think that's who they're going to bring in first. I think they're going to retcon, or they're going to just get rid of the X-Men universe, and I think they're going to slowly bring in the X-Men. I think the first X-Men you'll see in the MCU is without a doubt Wolverine. It's just why wouldn't you?
It would be great. You know what would be really good is if the Avengers approach Wolverine and ask him to join, and he's
Yes.
sitting in a bar and he goes, "Fuck off."
That would be brilliant. So yeah, I think they're going to completely, cancel out the X-Men universe, which I'm not. There's only ever been one X-Men movie that I've been truly happy with.
Is that First Class?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they'll get rid of the rest. So that's fine. I think the first character of Fox we're going to see might be Doctor Doom, because it's rumored. That has been a rumor going
And
around.
you have to also understand that Doctor Doom was Stanley's favourite character.
Yeah. And I mean, I knew Nigel was going to say Black Panther 2 as the first, but it's a fucking given that was going to get a sequel.
Okay, Nige, what's the next one on the billet?
Really will. Okay, so Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah, there's been some chat about this.
Yeah, because that's going to be that's Baron Mordo shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you've got Baron Mordo. He's going to be teaming up with Dormammu again.
No, Dormammu.
Dormammu. Yes, it does sound. It does sound like that.
The Americans will not know what we're talking about. It's an in-joke, British TV joke, that one.
From a long time ago.
I enjoyed the first Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I did. As well.
I love the fact that at the end of the film, everything was put back. Everything was all tidy.
But that's a key there, right? Nigel's right. I just one Doctor. I watched Infinity War recently. I was very wrong, right? If you listen to the podcast here, I was wrong about it. I fucking love it now. The bit where Doctor Strange says, "We're in the end game now," and the time stone. That is such a key to end game.
Just a quick one, yeah. The time stone that he had might not necessarily be the time stone that's in sync with him.
Yes.
That may be the time stone from the future. So he had another one that he kept aside as an option. That's one of the theories about the time travel thing.
But go on, Nigel, you were going to say because you like Doctor Strange, didn't you?
Yeah, do you know what? I didn't see it in the cinema, but when it came, I think it was on Netflix or something like that. And I watched it with the kids and stuff, and it had them engrossed all the way through. I love the way Benedict plays the character, and I really do like it when they actually show progression through a movie.
Oh, what?
Especially
you mean
character development,
a character's journey. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it builds and builds and builds and builds to the point where he's just fucking brilliant at what he does through sheer perseverance of his own.
Yeah, I love the fact that he was sleeping and teaching himself in his sleep. That was fucking... I'd love to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I like Doctor Strange. It was a good film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, we got, what's next on the billet?
Now, one that Keith and I both agree, because we like this sort of movie, The Hands of Shang-Chi.
Yep.
So, apparently, let me just... Destin Daniel Cretton was recently hired. Yeah.
His name's
I don't know.
Cretin after the... By the way,
Creton.
if anyone tells you that it's not pronounced cretin, it's pronounced cretin, you tell them, goes, no, it's Swiss, it's cretin, not Greek.
It's Destin Daniel Cretin.
Cretin.
Yeah.
Named after the Swiss monsters.
So he was recently hired to direct it, and he's working from a script by Dave Callahan, which is Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Do you know what? See, the thing is, I saw just a bit of this Korean superhero who's supposed to be gay as well. Did they throw that in there too?
Yeah, probably.
A gay super... So this Koreans have been...
Well, I don't care about that as long as that's not his agenda.
No. If they've said it, that's going to be a massive part of his fucking character,
Yeah, but it
isn't it?
can be. That's fine. Right?
No, it can't be the defining part of him.
Well, why not?
No, because...
your sexuality can define you to a certain extent.
No, I don't think it does. What you got up to your bedroom is not important when you're... Well, if you're building me a house, I don't give a rat's ass if you like tickling bum in your spare time. I'm interested in you building a house.
That's not necessarily a gay thing, tickling bum.
I know.
Very true, Keith. Very true.
Everyone's got a bum, so that makes it nice universal. I was being an equal opportunities offender.
Oh, are you right? Okay.
But I like it. I like
what, tickling
I
bum?
like the idea of this film, Keith.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that noise.
I just said tickling bum because it sounded funny. Just didn't realise
If
it would
Gavin's
cause much
listening, he's
havoc.
going, "Yep, no, totally agree." Oh, what? You're talking about the film? I guess.
He needs to be a superhero first and just happens to be gay after.
Yeah.
Yeah, first and foremost, that's got to be, it, hasn't it? It's got to be that he is a superhero. He just happens to be Asian and he happens to be gay. It doesn't matter if he's Asian. It doesn't matter if he's gay. But as long as he is what he is in the I guess it's a comic before, was it? As long as they capture the essence of a comic and they capture his personality, his persona, his skills, etc., etc. What he does in the bedroom doesn't fucking matter.
Done right, this could be awesome.
See, I just
done right, and Nigel's right. I like this kind of movie, and I'm up for an MCU.
okay.
Come through
I'm going to make a prediction like I did with Captain Marvel.
Don't.
My prediction goes as follows: It's
God.
gonna come across as a big budget version of Netflix's Iron Fist.
No, shut
I
up.
thought you were going to say Iron Fist.
Sorry, man.
Shut up.
That's how it's going to come across. A big production.
I actually enjoyed Iron Fist the first season. I haven't started watching the second, but
Well, as I said, some people like tickling bum. You just like an Iron Fist. Okay, what's next on the billet?
and on that bombshell, right, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That's a given.
Well, kind of the fact that they've announced that one already.
That would be fun if they turned
We
around
don't
and went,
even
do you know
need
what?
to-
After all the shit we've gone through, we're not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, we've spoken about this last week because James Gunn's now
Yeah, and we know what it's going to be
rehired,
about.
So
But as I said last week, it's if he was a Republican, they would have got rid of him and you'd never hear from him again because that's how it works, because it's all tribalistic bullshit.
I know, I don't care.
but-
about that. I mean, I knew,
but- But it comes down to, for fuck's sake, please check to make sure he's not a pedo. Because if you find out he's a pedo 2 years down the line, you are going to look really fucking stupid.
No, I'm not fussed about the political side of it, but we know what the movie's going to be about because he kind of hinted that, and the fact that he's writing that again, I'm happy with all of that.
Yeah, but Adam Warlock was the person supposed to
Yep.
hold the Infinity Gauntlet, wasn't he?
Well, he might.
Yeah, and then you can have the Magnus in
Guardian,
it.
which of the Guardians died with Thanos clip?
All of them.
All of them, apart from Rocket.
Rocket Raccoon. And that was the one bit in the trailer where he's in Scotland doing something. Rocket Raccoon in Scotland could be quite interesting. I hope they make more of a play with that. Really, Rocket Raccoon walks into a bar. That could be funny. Well,
I really hope that they have Rocket Raccoon trying to communicate with somebody with a thick Scottish accent.
That would be funny. That would be
because hell, I have trouble.
And he looks Scottish.
So there are a few other rumoured projects. An R-rated Blade movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's been rumoured for quite a while.
Yeah, that fits.
Yeah.
'Cause-
But if you believe Marvel currently, there's never been a Blade movie.
Yeah. There's
Because,
no.
I mean, the first black superhero was Black Panther.
Yeah. First Marvel black
Yeah.
superhero is Black Panther. First superhero is Black Panther. The first fucking film superhero in a successful film was Blade. That's it. The thing
He
that
was
kicked off
awesome.
all these comic book movies was fucking Blade. I'm pissed off at that because I actually liked that film.
Yeah, so do I.
The only thing I
Yeah.
didn't like about that film is when they did the shit bullet time.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I can't remember. Yeah, I need to rewatch those films. I do love them.
They
They're also talking about potentially X-Men and Fantastic Four, but yeah, it's not quite
They're gonna do Fantastic Four. That is a given. They're
because
the first family
because they were
involved.
Fox, weren't they? Were they Fox?
Yes.
Yeah, they were Fox.
So yeah, now Fox has now officially become part of Disney. They probably look at those two, won't
Yeah,
they?
that's what we were saying at the beginning. Gareth thinks that Doctor Doom could be the bad guy in Black Panther, which would work, and that would be a nice way to introduce you.
Hang on a second.
You could get like a hint at Reed Richards.
I don't think he's a baddie in Black Panther. I want him to be the baddie in Black
No,
Panther.
I don't. But there is a rumor about that. There is a rumor about that. I don't know if it's true or not, but that would be a good way to introduce them. You could just have like a hint, like somebody hint at Reed Richards, like they hinted at Stephen Strange and Captain America.
Yeah.
The second one. That would be a good hint. And Doctor Doom coming in, that would be a nice way to bring them in, and then you bring them in a sort of organic way, which would work. I think we're going to see the Fantastic Four, and I think regardless of whether we think Captain Marvel's going to be, it isn't. It's going. If they cast the Fantastic Four the right way, they'll be the next faces of the MCU.
See the big Fox Disney crossover I really want to see is Frozen versus Predator.
Can make a game out of that. Yeah, but that fucking... I'll tell you what, jokes aside, right, we didn't really talk about this. That first fucking Frozen 2 trailer was pretty fucking bleak.
I haven't seen it. I'll be honest.
Bleak, dude. I mean, it's really bleak. It's proper. I was like, I don't want to show that to my niece who's obsessed with Frozen because it's proper fucking bleak.
Is it bleak?
It's bleak.
Nige, do you think it's bleak?
Oh,
Let's
all
ask
right.
Keith. Is it bleak? All right, okay. What's the next one we got?
I don't know. You got the list. You're...
Nige has got the list. That's what I'm asking.
Oh no, there's no more movies on the list.
That's
No more move.
We've done all 7.
Done all 7.
Yeah, because we talked about
Plus the X-Men and the
we talked about Black Widow, which I'm so fucking up for.
Yeah, I am up for that.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I
I reckon
ju-
Black Widow film, if that came out and done right, would smash Captain Marvel's women lead.
Yes, because she's
superhero
likable
thing.
and she's had a journey.
Yes, and as long as they make sure that they give her a character to work with.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I'd be up for that. And plus, it's one person we already know. All right, so we've done our Marvel films. I want to briefly talk about Love, Death and Robots on Netflix because I want you guys to watch it so we can talk about it next week. My brothers have been fucking texting me and WhatsApping me and sending me clips saying you need to watch Love, Death and Robots. And I've watched a ton of clips because they just keep fucking sending to me.
18 episodes in it, right?
Yeah, there's 18 episodes in it. It's a sci-fi CGI / animated anthology series, so it's not. You can start anywhere in it and go back and forth. You've got some really kind of bleak stories in there. There's one of a captain that does a jump does like a space jump, like hyperspace. He thinks it goes wrong, and they've gone off course, and they're trying to get back home. Turns out that's not the case. He's being consumed alive by a fungus creature, which is keeping him busy. And some of the CGI from that is like, oh my god. There's some other ones where they've got the Russians have unearthed some monsters, and they're going to use the Russian Air Force to bomb the shit out of them, but they need to hold them back to do that, and the guy's got to ride out to inform the Air Force to do the bombing and stuff. And the CGI on that is like near people level, and it looks good. I think there's smaller episodes than that. There's some silly ones in there, one about the sentient yogurt that guides humanity and then leaves for the stars. That one doesn't look realistic, by the way. No, it's just in case you're confused when you see little egg people running around doing shit. But it looks really good. It's done by Tim Miller and someone else who I cannot fucking remember.
Tim Miller was
Deadpool. First Deadpool. He did tons of animated intros for games and stuff. Let me just see if I can find who was the other person for Love, Death and Robots. But it looks. There it is, first option. That's pretty sweet.
There's been some
looks fucking
good
awesome
stuff on Netflix recently. The OA Part 2's just come out, which I really want to watch.
Yeah.
Because the OA Part 1 was good.
Have you been watching? Did you watch American Gods?
No.
Okay. That's a conversation down the toilet.
Because the second... but the press around that second series is so bad.
Is it?
It had a lot of problems getting the second season out. It's had a lot of problems getting the first season out. The second season had even more problems. I'll tell you what is good on Netflix recently.
What?
Afterlife by Ricky Gervais. Fucking...
Oh, that was brilliant. Yeah, we watched that last week.
Utterly brilliant.
Okay.
It's funny.
Tragic.
As well as it's funny and it pulls out all, one moment one moment my wife is crying because it's fucking sad, and the next moment you're fucking laughing your head off because of shit he says.
Go on.
He is basically himself, isn't he?
He's a version of himself.
Yeah.
And he's a toned down, less David Brent version of himself and far more likeable. His love of dogs is very much in there because he truly loves dogs. But yeah, I was watching on the plane. The air hostess, I thought I'd gone fucking batshit crazy because one minute I really am blubbering like a baby, and the next minute I'm pissing myself laughing. It's utterly brilliant.
I gotta say though, Gareth, if you've not seen it, it's definitely worth a watch. Each episode's only 25 minutes, so there's only 6 episodes. So
you can cover an episode in long shit. You're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just watch it with the missus. It's definitely worth watching with the missus. That's for sure.
It's very self-contained. It's not going to have another series. It's brilliant.
Mm.
It's poignant. It's beautifully written. And the thing that's so amazing by it and really does show that we are living in a generation now where we are living in the golden age of TVs that never, ever would have been on broadcast TV. And that's why we have to remember we need to show Netflix love. Because I love the fact that Netflix is still very much in the stage of throwing money at everything and seeing what sticks. But advertising networks wouldn't have let that be broadcast, or they would have interfered with it. Because there's a scene in it, I think episode 4, that never would have been on broadcast TV. And it's not because he swears or anything, it's because of the nature of what happens. But it's part. It's absolutely part of his journey. And his journey through this, it's brilliant. It's I've got no, it's such an emotional roller coaster of a series.
And you can sort of understand where he's coming from all the way through.
Yeah.
Actually, well, maybe not at the start, because although he's a bit of a git at the start, he's fucking funny with it.
Oh, dude, I haven't seen the trailers to it, so I missed the trailer bit. But it's like this is in the trailer, so if you watch the trailer to it. He's walking past the school and he says...
Don't say it.
It's so funny. I spat my food out because it was so funny, because whatever I was expecting, I was not expecting that. And the bit when he's walking the dog, the dog's playing...
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And he starts being a sarcastic
But he
prick
doesn't
to this
because
person
he says, "Oh,
by
thanks,
talking
mate."
to the dog.
He says, "Thanks, mate," and I thought, "Oh, that's not Ricky Gervais like." And then he goes, "What's that?" Mimics.
Yeah, and he starts being a sarcastic prick to this guy by talking to the dog direct, but loud enough for that person to. Yeah, no, you cannot say what he's saying because you won't do it justice. You just can't. Nor can I. Nor can anyone apart from Ricky.
The one thing is worth mentioning about that is the Scottish lass, the blonde lass that was in extras. I can't remember her name. She lost her partner committed suicide last year, so that couldn't have been easy for her to be in this. That couldn't have been easy. I
think you're right there. I didn't know that, but you could sort of see it on her face whenever she's in the.
To pull that, because she was great in this, and to pull that performance out with that having happened in real life, that couldn't have been easy. So no, it's a great cast, great 3 hours of television, brilliant. If you haven't seen it, you must watch this. If you don't like Ricky Gervais, he is not Ricky Gervais in this. He's not David Brent in this. He is somebody that you end up really sort of identifying with towards the end of it, and his journey through this is brilliant.
He does have a journey. That's the thing. Continuous journey all the way from start to finish, and you know where his head is at all points, and you can sort of see things from his perspective and why he's doing what he's doing, and you understand, you empathise. So, fucking hell, we've talked about this, and it wasn't even on the agenda. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, I felt I had to mention it because I'm. But yeah, the OA Part 2 is something I want to catch up with as well. So yeah, Netflix. Well done. Well done.
Yeah, cool.
Sorry, what were we talking about?
Where were we again?
Love, Death and Robots on Netflix. Okay, last one.
I'll watch that. I'm going to watch that.
Spiderman.
Yeah, you guys talking about the game.
Yes.
I love the fact that we all love this game. And everything you said last week, I completely agree with. The mechanics for walking up a wall is really fucking annoying. It bugs the shit out of me at times because I'm like you two, especially Nigel. I have to complete all these fucking things. And when you've got one of those bloody, rucksacks up in a bit of a arse place to get it, the mechanics for getting to it are really fucking frustrating.
Yeah.
They can be, yeah. They were the black rucksack bit was the bit I decided to get all of them first, and some of them like you're going, oh, it's here, but I'm here, but it's not here. Where the fuck is it?
Yes.
Oh, it's underneath me under the fucking bridge.
Yes.
And
I was going to mention that one. That was a real fucker.
Dude, those seriously later on you're going to have some trouble.
I've played it. I've completed it. I know what you're talking about, and I partially agree with you about the drones.
Taskmaster stuff.
The drone stuff is annoying. But I'm sorry, the fucking pigeons was the first thing that got to me. Once I mastered the pigeon things, the drones became a bit easier. But those fucking pigeons.
I haven't got to the drone thing. So do you have to fly drones, or do you have?
No, you have to capture the drones, and they're worse than the pigeons.
You have to chase the drone through the city, and the faster you get, the faster the drone gets.
Yeah.
Because it only lets you catch it after it's dropped several spy cameras on there. Because there's a character called Taskmaster whose ability, this is a great thing about this character, yeah, his ability is if he sees you do something, he can replicate that perfectly. And he learnt this as a child because he watched diving on TV, and he's not making this shit up, yeah? He saw diving on TV, so he went to the swimming pool, tried diving, did it perfectly, but forgot to learn how to swim. That's great. But here comes the other really cool thing about Taskmaster. Taskmaster answers the question, yeah? Where do all the baddies get their fucking stooges and their henchmen from? Taskmaster is the guy who trains these people.
Yeah.
So he recruits and trains these people for the bad guys, and that's how he makes his money.
But, like you were saying, you were completing all the missions. Like you get... First off, it's Kingpin's men that you've got to round up in all their sort of lairs.
Yeah.
Then it's what do they call themselves?
The demons.
The demons, right. Those demons I was getting really obsessed with webbing up at least the first 2 waves without being detected. And I spent hours trying to get these fuckers without being detected. And I mastered it on a couple of them. I got waves 1 and 2 without being detected.
Right, no, hang on a second, because every time I get wave 1, it just automatically detects on wave 2.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
did for me.
I was laying down traps and stuff, and they just weren't detecting me.
Seriously, I could web all of them up, because I've done certain areas where they've had bad guys and stuff, and I can get through
I
all
was
of
getting
them.
wave 2 on some of them. Not always. It was detecting me a lot on the first
No,
one. Like,
it's
like the last guy on web 1, I'd set a trap. But if I webbed him from the roof, it'd just carry on.
See, the thing is, like, you get to fight Silver Sable, and they've all got fucking weapons. There's not one person without some kind of weapon. It's either they've got a shield or a baton or a gun, which is or a rocket launcher.
Which is
where,
really different.
where before you'd have a few guys who you could at least beat up in between.
Yeah.
But I have got it so I can do like double finisher, so I can get the focus up, hit the finisher. Yeah. At the moment I hit the finisher, just web a next fucker, and he's dead. And he's like, boom, boom, boom. But I tell you one thing: if you play Arkham,
Yes.
yeah, Spider-Man would beat the shit out of Batman from that.
Yeah.
He would just level. He's too fast. He's way faster than fucking Batman.
But then no. But this the sort of wall climbing mechanics aside, this is one of the best Spider-Man games I've ever played by a fucking country mile. The story's good. You mentioned earlier Jonah Jameson's becoming the sort of like Alex Jones style character who has got his own podcast. Is fucking brilliant.
Did you hear the? Have you heard the pigeon one?
You told me about it. I don't remember hearing.
I can play it back to you because it keeps the recordings. But the pigeon one, where he's like kind of goes, maybe we've got it wrong. Maybe he's not a man with spider abilities, but a spider with man abilities, like that. And he's eating pigeons to stay alive. And it's they've got the essence of the character down. I love J. Jonah Jameson's one of my favourite characters because he's an arsehole towards Spider-Man, but he's one of the people who actually helps out Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I always liked. He'd be like he's like a bossy sort of person who tries to push him to get the most out of him. But when his back's turned, he's helping him out secretly behind the scenes. And I kind of love that about that character.
I want him to be in the MCU version of Spider-Man,
yes.
but the trouble is, there's only one actor that can play him.
Yeah.
There is only one actor that can play him.
Yeah, and that's
J.K. Simmons.
J.K.
Because
He even sounds like fucking J. Jonah Jameson.
He does. And you need J.K. Simmons to come back. You really do.
I would fucking watch that.
But no, I just wanted to say I agreed with everything you said last week. It was a really good podcast last week, and I agree with most of what you said. I couldn't get into the order of the first episode, but maybe I wasn't in the mood. No,
I've not watched any more since,
No,
to be honest. But I need to carry on, see if it is actually any good.
Yeah. It's got the OA and this Love, Death, Robots, which I keep hearing about, so I'm thinking, right, I've got to watch some of this, because, So it's, I've got a lot of stuff to watch now.
Okay, I think we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah.
We've done it. We've done a good chunk, and need to go and grab 90s audio and mix it down immediately, because last week I wasn't feeling very well, and you could tell if you listened to me in the fucking podcast. And I mixed it down, and I just left it on my desktop for ages. So, yeah. So yeah, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
And for me, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.